Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. Last year, documents were discovered that indicated that the federal government was considering establishing two new monuments, national monuments, here in the state of Utah, one at Cedar Mesa and one at the San Rafael Swell. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Congressman Rob Bishop met with the BLM and they guaranteed him that the federal government, the president, had no intention of unilaterally creating new monuments in Utah without public input. Well, we thought this would be a good juncture to look at last time a monument came to the state of Utah. That was the Grand Staircase Escalante Monument, which crosses Kane and Garfield counties. And we thought we'd see what impact that 1.9 million acre impoundment has had on those two counties. Here with the story is Terry Wood.
1.9 million acres. With an area that size, you could stand in the middle of it and not see the edge in any direction. In 1996, then-President Bill Clinton stood on the rim of the Grand Canyon in Arizona and designated the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument in Utah, a decision that was controversial from the moment it was announced.
Basically, when you talk about the history, it was unbeknownst to any of the local officials at the time of the creation or the inception of the monument. They had no knowledge that it was going to be created. There was no coordination, no cooperation. The local officials basically woke up one morning and found out that 1.9 million acres of their county was within the boundaries of the Grand Staircase National Monument.
And that's what we've had since 1996, and we've been figuring out how to cope with that and to try to get along as best we can. We missed the opportunity to develop natural resources and would have preferred that, because interestingly, you can still visit those places and see beautiful stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be locked up and put under glass.
The monument was designated under the Antiquities Act to protect the historic and natural surroundings of the area, which makes up over 80% of two Utah counties, Garfield and Kane. For the leaders of those two counties and some of the residents, the monument was designated not to protect artifacts they feel, but as a political maneuver that could cost local jobs.
The president that created it under the Antiquities Act stated in his book, "I created the monument to save the pristine area from the ravaging of coal mining, that tourism would be better for the economy." Tourism does not replace the economic benefits of mining coal.
A planned coal mine run by Andalax Resources was approved by local and state government officials and passed an environmental impact statement. Locals argue the monument shut down the mine operation before it could begin, leaving southern Utah without the promised economic benefits. With well over 80% of Kane and Garfield counties under federal ownership, another impact is the lack of private property from which the counties collect taxes, and the cost of services the counties have to provide.
We don't have anything for a tax base here, so we've got requirements to maintain access, safety, and the rest. And what happens generally is that the Congress will appropriate a meager amount of money for what they call PILT, payment in lieu of taxes, and it just hasn't brought that much for local revenue. So we get a chance to deal with all of the other issues, including law enforcement, but none of the benefits.
While the counties feel the economic impact is undeniable, particularly in the case of resource development, the tourism afforded by the monument designation has had a big effect on their communities. However, it is their feeling that mining and tourism could have existed together.
We could do both. We could control the pristine value of the area, do controlled mining, and we could have as much or even more tourism if we work cooperatively together. That can be completed.
The challenges continue 15 years later. But there is one thing that has become clear to local and national leaders alike. The Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument is here to stay.
You can talk about what was lost or what's changing or what the potentials were, but if you had to say, what's this potential, it's virtually unknown. And it changes us culturally and socially at the same time.
Now the decision becomes how to make the most of it in order to benefit the greatest number of people.
We have got to figure out ways to make it work. And if tourism is the answer to this, let's sit down at the table and talk about it.
While there might be a couple of different perceived camps, we're really all one community. We just need to kind of figure out how to communicate, and we're really getting along fine. It's just that the outreach and the corresponding re-involvement at a local level could use some more work. Balance out values and uses, and we challenge the BLM to do that, and we look forward to doing that.
You may not be able to see from one end to the other, but hopefully the end of the battle is in sight. We'll find out how close or far away it is in our roundtable discussion. For the county seat, I'm Terry Wood.
Terry tells me that Andalex actually could have continued to operate within the monument because they had existing mineral rights at the time the monument was established. But they chose to leave the monument as a business decision because of the change in the environment and the way the land was to be managed. That sounds like a topic for another day here on the county seat. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we will be discussing the impact monuments have on counties and some of the alternatives in land use and planning that may possibly provide an alternative to protecting lands such as monuments do. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the county seat with our distinguished guests in just a minute.
There's a lot to see and do in Duchesne County this month. Altamont Longhorn Days is taking place July 18th through the 23rd, along with the Uinta Basin Cruise-In, July 15th and 16th, along with so many other fun opportunities and events. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Logan, Utah. We've got it all and so can you. It's in your own backyard.
Take a look. Take a glimpse. Take a peek. You'll be surprised by what you find. Join us August 4th through the 6th for the 2011 Tooele County Fair. Enjoy live entertainment, classic car show, rodeo, demolition derby, and more. Head to TooeleFair.com for tickets and more information. Adventure, beauty, excitement. Tooele County Parks and Recreation, bringing communities together.
In order for there to be adventure, there must first be a land that offers it. In order for there to be discovery, there must first be something undiscovered. It's time you discovered northeastern Utah's dinosaur lands, the trails, water, beauty, and history that have been 65 million years in the making. Take your journey to a destination where adventure is only limited by your imagination. Join us in Uinta County, Undiscovered Utah.